That's reality. That's picture. This is what we're gonna get tonight. Our boat was delivered from France in March of 2023. We spent 3 months on the mooring at St. Augustine Marina adjusting to our new lifestyle and learning how to sail our boat. We sailed her to Brunswick, Georgia for hurricane season with the help of our friend and spent almost 5 months on the dock. We faced unexpected lightning damage and our first hurricane living aboard. Our two major projects, Solar Arch and Watermaker install, got pushed to the very end of our stay at the marina. But we are now prepared for cruising life and ready to set sail. The week before Christmas. All week is gray and gloomy and rolly days. And we are hanging out at West Palm, working on small projects and just watching the weather before we can cross.
Amson Amsteel blue, this is what you get. Blue hands.
Blue.
Whatever they put on this crap gets you
Feeling
all blue.
kinda blue today. You gotta show the look. Your lasso.
This is the start of our barber hauler. Low friction ring with a Brummel spliced eye and a long bearing.
Looking the same. That's reality. That's picture. This is what we're gonna get tonight.
So yeah, you're gonna be here. And it's gonna be quick, I think, so that these two parts are sort of condensed and you just have the main frontal boundary that sweeps over you. Plus the high is up here as the low moves towards it. And this expands down, but it's kind of cool to see the classic shape from the picture play out.
You having fun?
6 to 12 hours.
You having fun?
Are we having fun yet?
Oh.
What did we see on the dock? 70?
Yeah, but that was like on the dock.
I'd rather be out here.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hit. There's no fenders to manage. There's no docks that fall apart. And it's not 12 hours. It's, you know, the worst of it is what? 2 to 3 hours?
What time is it gonna be the worst? Is it all
1
at
to,
night?
1 to 4 a.m.
1 to 4 a.m.
1 to 4 a.m.
You'll be on the watch.
1 to 4
I
a.m.
designate you my night.
Yeah, I'll need the toolkit, and then we need a notebook.
So we are planning our routes to Bahamas for Bahamas crossing.
A salty crossing,
Salty
as
crossing
it's been described to us.
on Monday.
I guess let's look at big picture before we get started. So we'll close this. So West Palm is here. There's the inlet waypoint. Here's your West End waypoint. There's no bearing here, but it's 55 miles straight line distance. Look at this. West End is right here. Parker said that we'll likely end up at Memory Rock. So move this over. The Memory Rock channel is not on this map. It's on this map. So the north distance, West End, is approximately here. The Memory Rock channel entrance is approximately 12 miles north. So the trick, or the estimate to crossing, as you can assume, 2 to 2.5 knots of current over your whole distance. That's the simple trick. So 55 miles. If we assume, which speed are we going to assume? We're going to assume 6 knots eastbound. That's 6 knots. That's going to take you 9.16 hours, right?
Wow.
So if we motor due east at 6 knots and ignore the current, you'll be 55 miles over here. What will the current have done to you? Well, if we're there for 9.16 hours and we assume a 2-knot drift, we multiply this by 2, and the current will have pushed you 18.3 miles northward. So you're going to end up on this line roughly. So we don't have a line that goes there, but you're going to expect at 2 knots, I guess this is where the pencil comes in.
Yeah.
So there's 18 due north from West End. And unfortunately this spans the page. But if you were to assume course, this is what your course over ground might look like.
So can we calculate the
angle? That's what we're going to do next.
Okay.
This is the kind of information I want to know.
Yeah.
So that when we go out there and I see course over ground 20, it's going to say like 85 degrees. I want to know if that's good or bad.
Yeah.
How does that compare to where we want to be? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the parallels, we're going to align them to this line. So you line it up best you can. push on one side, and then you move this over, and you try to center it on the compass. So I'm going to have to move it twice. So I'm going to move this up, then I'm going to move this one. Oh, see, I shifted it.
You shifted.
But,
Gotta redo.
no. Oh, and I can't actually walk it because I'm going to hit the edge of the page.
Yeah.
But what you would do is you would walk
you
it
would walk
over
it.
until you get to the center, and so you'd get here, right? And you'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm on the center of the circle. Now I'm going to read the angle.
Angle. Yeah.
Now I can sort of cheat
Eyeball it.
and eyeball this one here. And you gotta, these are the things you run into with paper charts. Well, I can't walk it over nicely because the binding is in the way. So I've got a true course of 72, 73, I'd say. That's pretty damn close because the computer is telling me 72 degrees and I'm reading 73 degrees. So this is our triangle. 72 degrees true with a 2-knot drift current. So again, if you point eastward at 90 degrees and the current drift is 2 knots over that whole 55 miles, that's where you'll end up. So what you'll see on the instruments is you'll see a heading. You'll set the autopilot heading to 90 degrees true, and it will show you what it's actually doing, and it will try to steer 90 degrees. When you look at the course over ground on the GPS, you'll expect to see 72 degrees. Now it'll change as the current waxes and wanes and you go through it, but if the current were constant, you would see 72 degrees in a 2-knot current.
Yeah, we'll have to look at Garmin so they can show me where to look for these numbers. Where do I see 72?
That'll be your course. Course over ground.
Course over ground 72.
That's what you're going to see. Heading hold, 90 degrees true. Now you see your GPS course over ground is north, 1 degree, right? You're drifting north on the anchor, but you're pointing east. See, there's a 90 degree discrepancy. So you're going to set this to 90 and you expect to see something less than 90 here.
Less than 90.
You hope it's greater than 72.
Okay.
What we're going to calculate now is the speed that we expect. We could do this with distance and speed. It's the same triangle. A, B, and C. A squared plus B squared equals C squared for a right triangle. Square root of A squared plus B squared equals C. What is C? It's not 8, right? It's some number between 6 and 8. So let's calculate it. So it's the square root of 40, which is between 6 and 7. It's less than 7, but greater than 6, right? This would be 36 and this would be 49.
Yep.
So it's like 6.5. Or we can go to our calculator and figure it out. 6.32.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So we want to be close to 90.
You want, ideally, the most efficient means of travel is to have your course over ground and your heading aligned. That way you have the least drag and all the forces are acting in the same direction.
Pencil. You left it. So write it down over here.
You're going to crowd, and at some point you're going to decide to jibe the boat.
Yeah.
And so that's the decision that we'll have to make. At some point, I have the current forecast up, so let's look at that. Here is Passage Planner. Here's Monday's current. There's a little bit of an eastward tilt to the vector arrow. So do you know how to read this? This is a vector chart or vector field of the current, and the arrow, similar to a wind field, the arrow denotes the direction of flow relative to 90 or whatever, and then the color denotes the intensity of the flow. So it's color coded in half-knot intervals. So your strongest current, according to this forecast, you expect is 2 knots, and it's located between here and here. And it's gonna, because we're crossing the west end, right, which is this area here. So we expect to see strong current building close to West End, peaking at 2 knots, and then slacking somewhere around halfway. It may start to taper off and drop under 1.5 knots, and it may start to veer more easterly in the second half of the crossing. So we got a quick reply from Chris Parker.
Yeah.
Supporting my route planning.
That's good.
Depart Lake Worth, heading for Memory Rock, then you'll exit the Gulf Stream. When you exit the Gulf Stream, near about 2654 north, 7925 west, turn southeast for West End. So that is exactly...
So he gave us coordinates.
He gave us an approximate, that's approximately where you should expect your turn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's consistent with a course like this, somewhere like this. So this is what I was showing you last night. You point east, you end up, we now know that this is 72 degrees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Windy's not sophisticated enough to have an overlay with angles, but this point is when you're getting to time your turn, and so you're going to time it somewhere between here and here, right? If you wait too long, you're too close to the banks and you've gotten pushed too far south, right?
Yep.
And now the current's pushing you onto the banks. So your optimal turn is somewhere in here when the current changes from perpendicular to behind you. So plan A is West End, and or plan B is Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
If you're going to West End and you get to here, you're not making Fort Lauderdale.
No.
So at some point you get too far out, you could still turn back and make it back to West Palm. So you have that option. So you're going to be on a beam here. This is going to be the worst part of the passage. 3 to 5 hours. That's going to be the roughest part right there. Peak current is like between here and here. Hopefully this wave action is less. This is northerly waves. You're going to be taking waves right on the beam here. Once you turn, you're going to be downwind, down waves out of the Gulf Stream, so you shouldn't have the steep wave effect here, and you're going to be nice. Hopefully should be a nice, quick, easy ride. So plan B, Fort Lauderdale. Plan A-B, Memory is to cross the banks at Memory Rock and either continue on or to anchor.
What are you making?
I'm making an old-fashioned without cherries. We have dried cherries somewhere, but I don't know where they are. If we had a dried cherry, that would be the completed old-fashioned.
Cheers. Our bread is done.
We can't drink on passage, so we drink while we're planning.
Our bread is done, I think.
Yeah, we should take it out. It's been done. Notorious. Oh, I need this. It's okay, there's orange in the loaf too. Same orange. Comes out easier when it's hotter. There we go. Just gotta shake it hard enough. It's just the rain.
27.
The rain makes it look bad.
Yeah.
Gusts into the high 20s. But you didn't. Torrential. So this is your squall.
Yeah. Oh my god.
This service does not allow calls to the number you have entered. Please try your call again later.
Well, we are trying to make reservation with the marina in the Bahamas. So we need to put a deposit down, but we can't call the marina because apparently... So we were trying to set up with our provider international calls and the Wi-Fi calling and all that stuff. But one thing we didn't consider that our phone providers might be blocking all Bahamas numbers. So we can't call anyone in the Bahamas. All right then. We just got a reply.
What?
We just got a reply.
From who?
Oh my god.
What?
You look different.
Oh yeah. So
Oh, you look different.
I should have left.
You want this? From the resort. She said the power is down.
Oh. Oh, they had the same storm we did.
Yeah, it's very bad weather over there, and that's why we're unable to call them, apparently. Well, hopefully that's the case. I mean, not hopefully, but I just hope that it's not our provider that is blocking the number.
This is what I used to do when I shaved a lot.
Yeah. When you were on land.
When I was on but yeah, normally I would grow the beard, at least the chin and stuff out a little longer.
Yeah.
So it'll come back. Don't worry.
The sun is finally came out today. We're going to shore for the last grocery run. It's gonna be wet right a little bit after yesterday stormy night. Since we're departing tomorrow, so we want to do the last grocery run today. Casino Royale.
No, it must actually be a casino.
Maybe it is.
So I'll go to Publix with you, then I'll check the delivery. And if it's not delivered, we'll just shop.
Yeah. Well, it's further down, right?
Yeah. It's
Anyway.
farther.
Sitting person. Green living. That is cool.
Oh, we can't cross the tracks.
Next crossing. Oh, there is another person over here. Different posture.
If you engage in conversation, he will attentively listen to your story.
Yeah. Oh, look, I found
Somebody's license.
someone's license. That's expired. No. Replace. Driver's license. How do we return this?
You might be able to drop it in the post office box. I don't know.
I'm engaged.
In conversation. Yeah, there we go. All right, can we go now?
We found Publix. Yes. They're all dusty.
They've probably been there a while.
Yeah.
Good.
Cookies.
Yep.
Found the post office.
No, I found a bunch of police officers hanging out.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and I gave it to them. So they said they will take care of it.